Good morning, everyone. I'm late today. I have to apologize for not having my early morning thought on here, but I have a friend here who's staying at the Airbnb that I manage, and I'm expecting another friend this evening. And then I have another Airbnb guest coming Sunday. So it's going to be quite busy for me, but I just wanted to come on and just talk about how excited I am. I knew I wanted to move here, but I really didn't know how I was going to make my way or what I was going to do. Even though I knew I was going to be okay for, as long as I wanted to be, but I like being productive and I like doing something. I like, just moving and being active. And I've met some really wonderful people. The roads have opened so much for me here. I've had some really wonderful connections that have allowed me opportunities that have just been really just humbling for me. That people are trusting me to run their, run their businesses for them and trusting me to, get people here in whatever capacity. So I wanted to talk about just faith and just taking the first step because there are so many people who are like, oh, give me the steps, tell me what to do, this and that. There really is no roadmap. There really is no blueprint. It's just about following your heart and just doing it. That was my blueprint. And I just knew that in the past when I've traveled here to Jamaica, like really wonderful things have always happened to me. The roads have always been open to me. I've always gotten a lot of messages while I have visited here. And it's just been really lovely. And that's the same thing that's happening to me now, except that I'm here, long term, and if not for the rest of my life. Following your heart just opens up so much. And people always ask me, "Oh, what'd you do in the States? What'd you do?" I was a realtor in the States, and I still do real estate. I have a team back in the States. If I have someone who wants to see a property, I have a team who can show, and then I negotiate and do the transaction remotely. So that's been working well. But, people always want to say, well, how could you do that to raising chickens? Don't get me wrong, I love real estate and really I'm very grateful for all of my clients and grateful for what that business has been able to provide me. But I used that career, real estate, to fund my dream. I always knew that I wanted to live internationally. And anyone who has known me for any significant amount of time can definitely say that. They can vouch for that. Um, so if you are wanting to do something, I just need you to trust yourself and just do it. Of course, I didn't just move. I have visited here many, 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 many times since the early 2000s. So I had an idea of the vibe of the island. I knew that it was in the country. I knew that that was the atmosphere that I wanted to be in. I always knew that I wanted to farm. I knew I wanted to grow my own food. I knew I wanted to raise animals. I already had that, and Portland was just a really good fit for me. I love the Jamaican culture. I love the Jamaican people. I love the environment. I love the waterfalls. I love the natural way of living. The natural way of living really appeals to me. So the message for this morning reflection is just give yourself a chance. There was a woman in my comments yesterday, I won't name her name, but she was asking this, like, what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about pensions? And what about everything was based around money. And honestly, I have never let my lack of money in the past exclude me from an opportunity. I remember when gosh, I've been to places in the past when I was young in my 20s. I don't even know how I got there, how I got the ticket. I went with like $100 in my pocket and I had a great time. You know what I mean? I I've just never let money dictate what I wanted to do, but now I understand that, money flows and money is energy, currency is energy. And I just don't allow myself to get too hung up on money. Yes, it is a necessity, but with faith, I do believe roads roads open, roads open, and life rewards action and movement, not stagnation and doubt. And I also just told myself over and over that I would always be provided for. I would always be provided for, and I would be paid to exist. And that's what I'm doing. So I appreciate everyone. Let me know your thoughts on this topic. It can be a little touchy because, it does seem very esoteric, but at the same time, it's always worked for me. So thanks for listening. Love, health, and wealth. Peace.